Okay, I'm running a little bit late tonight. I'll tell you, bit of an accident. Everybody's fine. Truck's not too bad. Make a long story short, idiot kid. We're gonna press on and do this one way or another.
Hey, it's me. We'll talk a little bit about a fellow by the name of Ray Wallace. And a few years back when he passed away, his family was crediting him with making all of the Bigfoot tracks at Bluff Creek and really everywhere up in there in the Pacific Northwest. But Bluff Creek was a happening place. Hold on. Let's just turn this thing around and take a look at Ray Wallace. Let's see here. There he is. Kind of a jokester. But it was no joke what he was doing. He was a foreman on a road crew. He owned heavy equipment, a contractor building the GO Road, the Orleans to Gasquet Road, through all of that sacred Indian land. And he was having a hard time keeping people working. And he's the one who, his ultimate solution was this. And he started this. Let me show you. Here's another picture of him with his fake casts. These are wooden feet. Some of them might actually be casts. There he is. Let's see here. Remember this. This is my little slide I have. That's my thumb up there. That's Ray Wallace's wife dressed in a suit. Ray came up with a kind of an ingenious idea that whenever they were having the Bigfoot problems, he had a couple of his cousins come up there and take these wooden feet that he had carved and tie a rope to the back of a truck and drive down the road and wearing those wooden feet. And the pull of the truck caused them to extend the stride way out. And they would fake Bigfoot tracks, but they would fake them right beside the real ones. And then he would claim that he made them all. And they, get a belly laugh and go back to work. It worked for a while. It worked until they actually saw themselves with their own eyes the Bigfoot. And then it didn't work anymore. And that's when they called the dogs in. The dog. Here's a Ray Wallace cast and one of the tracks on Blue Creek Mountain Road. Do you see what I mean? A fake track. And when I say Ray Wallace, this was Ray Wallace and Company. Ray Wallace was not athletic enough, I'm sure, to be pulled behind a truck. But let me show you some other things. Here's some stills from the Blue Creek Mountain footage. Let's just take a look at some of this. See that big old track right there. Another big old track. Look at this. A big track next to a small track. How can that possibly be? That would have been one really weird Bigfoot, wouldn't it? Fake. Real. Fake. Real. That's a little small one. Fake. Fake. That's a fake dog print. Where the heck did the dog, dog shows up everywhere. There's those two again, side by side. There they are again. Pay real close attention to these tracks right here, because they show up. Oh, darn it. Here we go. This is Roger Patterson. And these are all of his Northern California casts. Look at that one. That's that same print. Roger Patterson casted it, which shows he was there. Yeah, not absolute proof, but that's it. Go back to this one. Let me find it. Here we go. That's a good one. Tell you what I'll do. In order to get those side by side, now take a look at this. And take a look at this. So Patterson obviously didn't know the plan, but he was there. But you're looking at what, what's left over of the first of Plan A as these tracks to try to get workers back to work. But when they left, when they saw the Bigfoot themselves and left, well, then they call people in. With guns. He's not looking at bear tracks. That's real right there. Fake. See the truck tracks? But they're not. This is plan B right here. Everybody's gone, but these guys, including the workers, the loggers, all of them had cleared out. Everybody's wearing this. The dog handler's not, but everybody else is wearing the same clothes, same motif, logging uniforms. Logging uniforms. Logging uniforms. Let's see here. The guy behind the camera is even wearing a logging uniform. Give me just a second for this thing to populate. See if I can find it here. There we go. That's the guy behind the camera. He stepped out with someone else taking his picture. The Hendon views tracks at side of road, wearing the same darn shirts. Let me go back over to there's the pilot that flew them in there wearing the same clothes. And look down here. Look carefully. You'll see a spiked boot footprint from logging boots. They had 100 steel spikes in the bottom. Right there. Fake track. Gun butt. I believe I have another one. Maybe over here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, well. There. That's the clothes they came in with. He's wearing the guard dog uniform, the hat, and as they're playing, they're somewhere around Orleans. You can see the peaks in the background. Dog's trying to shake off the pill they gave him. They got a look of concern on that guy's eye and the face. He wasn't none too comfortable doing this. Can't read it, but it's North American Guard Dog Services. Same guy. Hold it. He's wearing the same uniform. That's him over there. There, right there on the edge. That's the pilot. He's actively taking part in it. There he is. Not a hunting dog. Don't expect this dog to behave like a hunting dog. I've seen dogs, German Shepherds of the German Shepherd breed. This is a Alsatian, same thing. When they're used for hunting, they put a lot of pressure on an animal. They chase them or run after them or run them, as they call them down here in the South, with their head up by smell and sight, but they don't put their nose to the ground usually. They run very, very swiftly and fast, put a lot of pressure on them. They'll make a deer jump out in a lake and submerge himself, all but his nose, trying to get away from them. There he is, the dog handler. There's logging operations have been going on there. There's the log. I see the logs. See the vehicle back there. So it's all the fun and games are over with about as far as strapping on the wooden feet, tromping down the road. It's then got down to some serious business. And that's Ray Wallace's role. It's a lot easier if you can just get your people to work. But, you know, that's... What if you had a rogue bear and you couldn't kill him, would you just try to fool your people into working? You know, I question why they would even consider that. Anyways, go back and look at a few of these. Two totally different feet. That's one weird Bigfoot. I have argued this over and over again down through the years, and it's not worth an argument. These are just my findings. You know, you take it or leave it or whatever. See how the wind's been blowing? You see them streaked out right there? Striations. These tracks didn't stay there very long, but they were long enough for Roger Patterson to get some of them. Let's see. Because he got that one, which is fake. These aren't fake, especially that little one right there. Take a good look at that thing. Then you go back over here. Let's find it. There it is, right there. There it is, right there. And that could be it too. This guy's name is Keith Chiazzari. That's a heck of a loyal pilot. Of course, now if you talk to Keith, he'll say we didn't find anything, and we went back to Canada. I beg to differ. What is that? Is that nothing? This guy, well, let me show you something. That's not the same fellow as over here. Let me go back. This fellow is not the same guy. He's just another guy with a receding hairline by the name of Bob Titmus. There's a picture of him right there. They denied emphatically that he was there, but he was there. A taxidermist. Lived in Redding, California. But before it was all said and done, he was a citizen of Canada. And lived in Harrison Hot Springs, same town that John Green lived in. Looking at these tracks. When I was sent the tracking dog video, it was never meant or intended for public consumption. An individual went in Rene DeHenden's trailer after he died, and I found this out later, and got this film. And when he digitized it, he sent it to me so that I could get stills of who? Bob Titmus, is what I was told. Because they wanted to publish pictures of Bob Titmus, and there was hardly any such photos around. And all of a sudden, Bob Titmus became someone else. And Bob Titmus was never there. And they didn't find anything. There was absolutely nothing found. They went home. Let's see.
All right. Everybody says they're buffering, so let me try to close some of this out. See if it helps.
Just brightened up, sharpened. It is what it is. There's a road right here, a hard packed road they're about to come out on. That's where they drove right up here to this and threw that out there on that sandbar for the dog to smell, as was quoted by Bob Gimlin. This is not blood now. This is just bloody water. See the road? Could you see the road right there? It showed a little bit of it. There it is right there. See it right there? The very edge of it. Let's go look at it again. Didn't find anything and went home. Don't understand it. Those dogs just won't run a Sasquatch. Well, you know, you can't prop up a lie forever. And whatever the reasons these guys had for not coming out and saying it, what happened, they obviously are very compelling. I think I've named all the people there, haven't I? Bob Titmus, Keith Chiazari, Dale Moffat here. The dog's name is White Lady. No, that's not it. I think I might have accidentally. I think I did. Well, darn. I can get it right back. That's not it. Well, I guess I was on the right hard drive in the first place. Tracking dog complete. I don't know if this has it all in there or not. I'm just trying to get to another section of it. Here we go. It's John Green, J.C. Buttram. Again, it's Dale Moffat. And this guy right here, I believe to be Jim McLaren. I'll show you why in another live video when I get a chance. That the Humboldt State University was well represented down here. They're the ones who taught forestry in Northern California. If you wanted to learn forestry, go into the forestry business, you went to that school. Now, they don't know nothing about any of this. I promise you that. Pretty dejected looking bunch. Look at that. He won't look at the camera, won't look up at the other guys. Because they're at the place where one was rendered, and it ain't a happy bunch. They've seen it up close. It just wasn't what they thought. Logging things everywhere. Horse turds. There it is. Had the dog smelling it. Patterson and Gimlin's horses. They're a little puzzled by that because they were there the day before and there were no horse turds there. But they all end up down there together in the great big hullabaloo. That's it. Well, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody has, what I want is that everybody have information. I'll tell you what I think, but ultimately you'll have to decide if that information tells you the same thing. It's a long and arduous journey rooting this out of people. And if they weren't for some cooperation, and I call them whistleblowers, essentially that's what they did. They blew the whistle. But, I wouldn't have nearly the story I have now nailed down. Wow. I look at some of the stuff that I've done. And you know what? I could say, well, yeah, I'm just going to profit from this. I'm going to write something or make a DVD, but that has not been my goal. That has not been what I'm seeking to do. I'm seeking to understand what's on the film. And to understand that film, you have to know the circumstances around it. And you have to know that the story that's told about how the film came about is untrue. If that's something that you don't like the idea of that, and you choose to say, well, I just believe this story, that's fine. Believe it. But for the rest of the people who know and understand that Sasquatch just don't walk out in the broad daylight and walk 300 feet in front of you, not without a very compelling reason. That story does not explain it. So, with that thought in mind, remember Ray Wallace and the role that he played back in the early days. A way to get your workers to go back to work without calling in the dogs. Did not work. Alrighty. You guys, hold on just a minute. Let me get my list of commenters on here. read just a little bit. I know it's late. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. I thank you for that. And I'm not the sole possessor of truth when it comes to this film. You can figure out things too if you have the information. So that's why I'm sharing it. All right. I'll let you guys go. I'm going to get ready for bed or watch TV or something. You guys have a great evening.
All right, y'all. That's it for this one. I'm gonna go find another one and do one more
Hey,
short
it's
one.
me. I have a couple of items, might call them loose ends, that I want to discuss from the Patterson film. This is like an ongoing discussion about whether she goes down or if she goes down at the end of the first walk sequence. And I want to.
Actually, I think I'll use this one. This is this newest one. So let me stop this one and we'll start another one.